All right. Oh, wow, I have a lot of effects on my voice. I'm going to let them fix that because I really don't need that much echo and effects going on. It's like kind of scary. All right, there's my normal talking voice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Woven today. We're so glad everyone is here. By way of announcements, per normal, we are doing an absolutely totally different service. We've never done anything like this before, so welcome, because we're probably going to keep doing that. The more you visit, the more you're going to find out that unconventional is our way. So today is kind of a time where we're going to create kind of a sacred space for us to grieve. That may be personal grief, could be family grief. If you're like me, it might be political grief, because there's a lot going on that there is to grieve, and that's challenging. So that's what today's space is going to be held. Next week, I'm super excited because John and Daniel are going to talk about given family versus chosen family and the importance of that dynamic. And then 2 weeks from now, John and I are going to talk about, can we actually celebrate Christmas this year with everything that's going on? Is that even possible? So I don't know the answer to that question, so you'll be on that journey as I sort that out myself. So with that, and then in 3 weeks from now, we're going to do like kind of the party thing, I guess, at my house. So if you want to come to that, see me for my address. I just want to say a very special welcome to all of you, regardless of your gender, your race, your socioeconomic status, your views on God and your views in the Bible. They don't matter here. You're welcome, you belong, and you're invited in this space exactly as you are. All right, so we're going to start today with a reading. Just because you've braced yourself for the worst doesn't mean it's any less terrifying when it comes. Today is not for shallow platitudes and sentimental pep talks, nor is it time to demand more work from Black women and those who have given their very bodies to attempt to redirect the ship to shore. Today is for grief, for deep breathing and safe arms. This country is a curse of its own design, but we remain. Now in this next section, if you'll say this with me, this inhale and exhale, as we breathe in, we'll all say together those words, and then as we breathe out, we'll say them. So let's breathe in. I can honor my sadness. Now breathe out without being consumed by it. Let's do that again. Let's breathe it in. I can honor my sadness. Let's exhale. Without being consumed by it. Now hear this prayer. God of change, we are not who we once were. We are tired of being known only in memory. Protect us from being dragged into a selfhood that no longer feels true for us. Help us to walk in our present selves without forgetting or dismissing who we've been, the pain we may have caused, the stories we carry. Remind us that our journey to selfhood is not escapism, but listening, attunement. And as we look toward deeper change still, help us to remember that we can honor our future selves without degrading who we have been. There is beauty here too, on the edge of our becoming. Amen.
Hi, everyone. What we're going to do now is I'm going to invite you to take a note card and a pen and write down whatever it is that you're grieving, whether it be the name of a loved one, whether it be an experience that you went through, or whatever else is on your mind and on your heart, whatever else you are grieving, write it down. And when you're done, you're invited to come up here and put it in the basket in the middle. Um, I will not read what's written, but what I will do is, in outside of church, outside of the service, I will dedicate a time and burn the cards. Um, so think of it as a way to help yourself release the grief, knowing that whatever it is you were putting down on the card will be burned, will be released to the earth, to the air, all of those things. So, yeah, let's do this. And if you brought a photograph or an article clip or anything like that, you're welcome to also come up and place it either on the table as a way to honor the person or the time, the event. Or if you would like to release that, you can also put it in the basket as well.
Now hear this second reading. Don't rush to escape the dissonance. You can bear witness to pain without being consumed by it. Resist the demand for you to explain your grief to those who remain unmoved. Feel what you feel with sincerity. You don't have to prove you are bleeding in order to earn the right to weep. Let's breathe this in together, then repeat the text. So breathe in. Lament is sacred. Breathe out. Grief is an honoring. Breathe in. Lament is sacred. And breathe out. Grief is an honoring. Now hear this prayer. God of wisdom, it's hard to know what to say to a God claimed by those who have wounded us. Can we trust you? We have known what it is to exist in spiritual spaces that are more interested in controlling us than loving us. To have the room turn against us when our beliefs diverge from the groups. We thank you for giving us an interior compass, an intuition that no longer trusts spirituality that feels like captivity. Free us from those spaces. But as we depart, keep us from relinquishing our own connection to the divine. Help us to approach you slowly in the safety of our own interior worlds before granting another spiritual space access to us. And when we're ready, guide us into new and safe communities, communities capable of holding our deepest doubts, our beliefs, the fullness of uncertainty without being threatened. May we approach shrewdly and carefully for our own protections as we search for spaces that honor the whole of us.
Now, if you're looking at the bulletin, you might be wondering, time of making? What's that? And if you've been here before, you might have been here for a time when we are doing paper poetry, where we write words on little pieces of paper and then get into groups and write poetry together. Because we have a fairly small crowd today, we're going to do that together on a bigger scale. So I have all of the words that we've accumulated from past times that we've done this. And I've also gone through the prayers and the readings of today and picked out different words and wrote them and added that to the word bank as well. So if we're able to, I would love for all of us to kind of sit together. It doesn't matter which side, whichever one is able to join together, that would be great. So just sit together and I will give a basket of the words to you guys and pick a number, just whatever handful of words that feels good to you. Pick those. You won't have to use all of them. You can choose whatever words that you've chosen that you wanted to actually use for the poem. And then when we're ready, I have this big, colorful sheet that I fairly intuitively painted maybe 20 minutes before service. So when the order of the words has been picked out, I will take those from you and fix them on this sheet. So it'll be one big poem. So yeah, let's get into a group and we'll go from there.
Just a 1-minute warning before our next part. Got it? Awesome. Thank you all. You can just stay where you're at, and we'll just do this next part together because we're going to have a different activity after this one. So, if you have your bulletins, here's the third reading. Aren't your eyelids tired of keeping prisoners? Those tears are precious minerals. Lap them up like a medicine. It's called healing. Let's breathe in together and say, I've known grief. Exhale, I'm still here. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in together. I've known grief. And exhale, I'm still here. Now hear this prayer. God who reclaims, we have known what it is to feel helpless, to have our agency stripped and voices snuffed out. We are grateful to those who have shown us that on the other side of our trauma, abuse, and grief, there can be power magnified. Bind the will of the oppressors and abusers. Remember your promises to the vulnerable, poor, marginalized, and immigrant, to raise us up in honor and lead us from captivity. We have been forgotten for so long. Do not forget us, God. Subvert the propaganda imparted by the white capitalist patriarchy and deliver us into a rich ecosystem of diverse power expressions. Speak gently into the hearts of those recently removed from harm. Keep us from punishing ourselves for what has been withheld from us. It is not our fault. We reclaim what's ours. Amen.
I don't know about you, but when dealing with grief, I found that what makes it difficult, or what makes it extra difficult, is the feeling of being alone in it, and the feeling of being alone with it. And so in this time together, what I would love for you all to do, if you are comfortable with it, if you would like to do it, is to find a partner or get into a group of 3. And if you would like to, if you feel led to, if you are open to it, share. Share the grief, share the worries, share the anxieties that you have. You don't have to get into a ton of details. It can be just one words. One words. That's counterintuitive. Yeah, but share a little bit about what's weighing you down. Share a little bit about the grief that has befriended you. And a little bit after, I will prompt you to um, share about the hope that you might have found through grief. Um, and if not hope that you have found, hope that you are hoping to find, hope that you are longing for, and how you are accessing that as well. Yeah. So find a partner, find a group to share this with. as you're sharing your grief, start to turn the conversation towards hope. So share how you're finding hope.
Let's give it one more minute and then we'll wrap up our time. As we wrap up our conversations, we're going to get ready to transition to a time together at the table. And we have the table elements right up here in the front. So as you wrap them up, go ahead and collect your goldfish and your juice. Yeah, you're fine. So as the last people are getting ready to get the goldfish and the juice, I just want to read this little paragraph to you as we take this together. Right now, the thing that is helping the most is microdosing hope. I have no access to big hope right now. However, I am asking myself, how can I support the people around me, the people on my team and my community? How can I make sure that in the maelstrom of my emotions, I stay committed to courage, kindness, and caring for others, regardless of the choices made by other people? Doing the smallest next right thing is hard as fuck, but sometimes it's all we've got. So let's take this in that spirit. And now I'm going to close this service today with one final prayer. God of the unlasting, we have been trained to believe that the beautiful things are the things that last. Help us to hold this truth in harmony with the knowledge that there is also a mysterious beauty in what does not remain. We have clung to that which is static and unchanging, defining the divine as changeless when you are also fluid and expansive, constant in your remaking of us. Protect us from the lie that death is only ever tragedy. Remind us that not all things were meant to last. Remind us that the beauty of autumn is in its temporality, that if the leaves were always red, they'd fail to stir us at all. Give us a reverence for the things that rust, the things that decay become the dirt that sustains us. As we submit to time, not as thief, but as artist, may we apprehend the beauty of fleeting things. Every sunset, every first dance, the emptied beehive. Help us to make space for the grief of all that doesn't last, while still honoring the liberation of all that refuses to stay. If only for a moment there is beauty, will we pause for it? Amen. Thank you all for being with us in this special time in this sacred space, and we'll see you next week.